Namaste, and welcome to another of our live Friday afternoon sessions of Qigong. So, as I mentioned in the post, today we're going to do something a little bit different, and we are introducing the 5 elements of Qigong. So, some elements of Chinese medicine that correspond with different organs, and they're quite metaphorical in Chinese medicine, which I quite like. So we can work them in our body, in our system, and see ways that there might be imbalances or ways to complement ourselves using a rebalancing of the 5 elements. So today we're just going to do 3 of them, and then each week we can build and slowly introduce the full flows like we did with our QiGong. So we'll still be doing the same warm-up, so find yourself your usual position. You can do this seated or standing. So start off just warming up those wrists as usual, and this is just going to let the body know we know what's coming. Time for the mind to sink down and relax a bit. The breath can deepen, opposite way with the wrists. Just giving ourselves permission to come back to the here and now. Land in this moment. Onto the elbows. Now this movement's going to be really helpful for one of our flows today. So notice how my elbows are quite fixed in space. Feel like my shoulders are quite wonky today. So the elbow is quite fixed in space. So we're moving around a fixed elbow. And the opposite way, and you can still flex your wrists for this one as well, and your fingertips. It will become apparent when we do the flows in a bit. Right, let's get them shoulders going a bit. So again, back to the hands, go forward, round and back. So it's the tops of the shoulders that bring the movement. I always bring a little bit of a wave through my spine as well, because that feels good. And the opposite way, pushing back and bringing the arms round. And then just a few times to reset. Okay, you can always just roll the shoulders backwards a little bit and forwards. And let's loosen them up a little bit with stork spreads its feathers, because we like this one. So again, we're scooping that water around. We're letting the fingertips drop down at the sides, and then we're just relaxing the tailbone, dipping down slightly, crown lifting. And so we're just feeling the shoulders melt down. So you can do this one with the breath. Find what feels good. Let the fingertips drop. Imagine the shoulder blades melting down the back body. Slight tuck of the chin, lifting of the crown. Final time. So the palms are facing outwards at your sides. You're giving your fingers permission to sink and soften. Shoulders. And at this point, keeping a line of opposition between the crown and the opposite hand, you might wish to roll the neck to the side over the shoulder, and that will open up the muscles along the top of the arm and help you release any tension or tightness, maintaining a lift in the crown as if there's a line, a magnet between the crown of the head and the tips of the opposite hand of the fingers pushing away from each other. And that'll just keep some integrity and stop some crunching in the neck. We're just inviting spaciousness. We're not overly exerting ourselves, overly stressing the body. It's a time to restore the body, not to aggravate. This one can be lovely if you've been doing lots of repetitive movements, any shopping, things like that. You've been carrying a lot of heavy stuff. Just really let those shoulder blades relax down the back body. Just a few shoulder rolls to integrate. Okay, and we can do owl turns its head as well, just to have opened the neck to the sides. So for this one, we're holding in front of the abdomen and we just turn to the sides, let the fingertips drop down to the floor. Back to center. The other side. It's just warming up the neck, bringing in whole body movement. We're aware of our feet planted. A lifting of the crown, a dropping of the fingers, relaxing and melting of the shoulder blades. So that each movement becomes a whole body movement. Lovely. So giving them wrists a bit of a shake. You can call this one Chinese, Italian Qigong. We're flipping, mamma mia, we're flicking those fingers, just letting the wrists be loose, the fingers, especially if you've been using a lot of computers or phones. Not that many people do these days, but can just help to release any stresses from the wrists. Right. So let's give our door of life a bit of a wake up. So that's on the lower abdomen, and so that's turning and waking up the spine a bit. And we're just going to start with a gentle turn from this inner waist. So this movement's going to become important today. So we're just going to remember this is one we use in our QiGong. So we're just turning from the inside of the hips. And they call this the Qi. So we're just gently turning and then let the arms trail. Imagine your fingertips washing through water. And it's only as we turn and accentuate to look behind us, the arms, the hands widen. Naturally, we're not forcing them, we're not moving them consciously. We're letting the inner movement, this core, bring about that movement. And when you're ready, you can fully turn if that feels comfortable. Your back and your neck. Knocking either side, but never directly on the spine. Lovely one for just opening and waking up the body. So do a bit of spinal cord breathing. We've not done this one in a while to open up the front and back of the spine. So you can either breathe in and breathe out as we round and arch the back, and from the side you'll see it's a bit like cat-cow for those used to yoga. So you breathe in, opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders, looking up slightly, and then breathing out. Imagine spaciousness between each vertebrae that's rounded over. This one, a wonderful exercise for switching off the stress, the fight-flight response, bringing us into the parasympathetic system to rest, recharge, digest. Really let them shoulder blades melt down. Giving your lungs permission to breathe full and deep as we open the chest. Just notice how you're feeling. Notice where your body is at. One more time. Imagine opening up like a sunrise in front of you. And then arching around, closing like the sun setting. Okay, so let's warm up this waist region with our tray of teacups. So we'll do our two-handed teacups. So for this one, I'll show you on my knees today. So for this one, we've got our hands slightly above the head. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the hands away, fingertips facing away, fingertips facing the belly, away and above. So again, away, abdomen, away, above. And when you feel comfortable, you can bring in the hips. And as the arms go to one side, the hips go to the other. As the arms go forward, the hips go back. So it becomes a whole body movement. Even those that are seated, just go one more time that way. And then we'll change. Even those that are seated, you can imagine the spiraling coming all the way up from the soles of your feet. Right the way up through the core, through the arms, through the neck, through the crown. And this time we'll bring the arms down and imagine pushing your fingertips into the corners of the room that you are in. So. Lovely. So let's shake them wrists. And what we'll do is we'll do a bit into our lower body. Even those that are seated, you can do this gently just to wake up the lower body. So you can either take a wider stance or whatever's comfortable from within the Wuji posture, just to bring some slight warmth to the lower body. In fact, let's have a good cleanse. Let's do tiger crouches in the grass. So first one, we've just got our fingers as if we're trying to grip into a rock surface. And we're going to go down. Just imagine the tailbones dipping down, the Chest is as upright as feels comfortable. We breathe in as if we're clearing and clawing up the gutters, and then release. Releasing any tension or tightness. And just waking up the body. Can be a lovely way to start the day. Imagine having a clear out. Feeling the strength of the foundation of your legs. And your lower body, those that are seated can still imagine clawing right the way up from the toes over the head. And release. Final time. Lovely. Let's give that a little shake out. We've warmed up into the lower body. We can warm up the knees by just doing some gentle circles one way and the other. Qigong is partly about just body awareness. We're not trying to change what's present in the body, but we're noticing. How are the ankles? How are the muscles doing? It's just time to be with the body, aware, know where to be, nothing to think. Shake off to the front, side and the back. And to the other side, really give them ankles a nice flex. If you've got your toes loose as well, let them flex. These can carry so much weight in the day. Nice to give them a full range of movement. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start in basic Wuji, like we have been doing. So we're going to be standing from this posture, and we'll try just doing 3 different standing postures. Those that are seated, I'll tell you how to do it seated. We'll do them for just 2 minutes each of each of the postures, which will help us build a bit of a foundation and connection to them parts of the body before we then do the 3 flows. Okay, so we're going to start with our Wuji posture. Those that are seated, focus on the sits bones. Those that are standing, imagine the tailbones dropping down slightly, so there's a slight bend in the knees. We've got a lift going up the front body, a slight lift and a sinking down the back body. We've got our hands like a dome, as if they're cupping something. Just like our tray of teacups, and we're cupping in our palm. Imagine there's a slight bowl in the hands, as if we're holding a bowl in front of the abdomen. We're letting the shoulder blades drop down the back body, we're lifting the crown, and we're tucking in the chin. And we breathe. And now you can imagine the mind sinking down. Imagine getting in an elevator, a ball of light. You step in there, and the mind, wherever the mind feels in the body. And that elevator is going to take you down and down to sink you into the core. It's going to take you down past the mind, down past the head space, through the throat, past the heart, sinking down and down like a pebble in a pond to rest in the pit of the abdomen region, the lower dantian, the core of your being. And that's where we invite the breath to land. We're not forcing it. We're just inviting the breath. We're saying, we relax the chest, we relax the abdomen, and we breathe. Imagining cupping a ball of light, if that helps, in front of the abdomen. I like to do this one with half closed eyes. When I fully close my eyes, sometimes the mind can wander. So just softening the gaze, turning the awareness inwards. And then just making micro adjustments, noticing how the knees feel, where the stance is between the 4 corners of the feet. Trying to hold a balanced posture, noticing if the front body is leaning forward or back. Noticing the shoulders. We've got a slight rounding as well in the arms and the elbows, so it's a whole body awareness. Imagine still cupping that bowl in the abdomen and breathing. Imagine a ball of light in the abdomen. Just another 30 seconds. And you may wish to place the tongue on the crown, on the roof of the mouth, just behind the teeth, not touching the teeth, to connect the microcosmic orbit. Tucking slightly in the chin. Noticing how you're feeling, inviting the body to zip up, imagining any weary parts of the body like corks resting on water. So, or a marionette string lifting the crown of the head. That's helping you hold in the posture. Final deep breath. Now I'll turn to the side to show you the next one. So we're still in Wuji. And this time we're just going to take those palms around the side of the body so the fingers are still facing the body. And they're just going to come to the lower back region. Okay, so imagine now you're holding a bowl but on the back of the body. Now this one might be uncomfortable at first. Find what feels good. You might want to slightly rotate forward in the hips so that you're still keeping a nice straight spine. That feels a bit more comfortable. As upright as feels comfortable without overextending. We're not pushing the arms right the way back behind you. Find what feels good. We're just inviting them to be rounded and to hold our awareness on the lower back. This is the kidneys, the door of life. And in Chinese medicine, this is associated with water, circulation, that nourishing water quality, quietude, introspection. Just feeling into what those waters feel like to you. What does water associate with you? Quite relaxing and soothing quality for me. So I just imagine water washing in the lower back. Or a ball of light. And just noticing awareness through the palms, maybe slightly spreading the fingers, cupping the palms. Imagine a marionette string still lifting the crown, a line of opposition between the crown and the tailbone. Just another minute in this posture, but if it ever feels uncomfortable, just bring the arms to the side, stand yourself upright. Build this up at a pace that's right for your body now. Each day in my practice is different. Today in the humidity, it's feeling more of a challenge. Can be a gorgeous one to do in the barefoot in nature. Okay, so just holding that for another 30 seconds. Imagining that ball of light gently expanding with the inhale in the lower back, lower abdomen region. If it helps, you can imagine a blue light. And then we can slowly bring the arms back round to our Wuji posture. Have a shake if that feels comfortable to you. I've just got another 2 minutes in this posture today, which is swaying, which is our tree, standing like a tree posture. So with our Wuji, we had built up to 5 minutes, and this is just 1 minute more, but find what feels comfortable for your body. It's one you can build in your own personal practice, progressively, comfortably, not overextending. And for this one, we've got our arms still rounded. You can see the arms are still rounded. They're up at the kind of chest level. The tree associated with wood, which is associated with the liver. So we're kind of around this region of the body, the liver, the gallbladder. And for this one, I imagine standing balanced, equally aware of my feet and the crown of my head. Feeling a slight lift up the front body, sinking down the back body. Again, tucking the chin, lifting the crown, relaxing the arms and the shoulders, relaxing the elbows. And just imagine breathing to that region where your hands are facing. A light of awareness shining in that part of your body. And then I invite you to slightly stretch the fingers and palms, not overly stretching, but just slightly to bring awareness, and to do the same with your toes, even if you're seated. This wood region is connected to the fascia, the connective tissue of the body. And these are the aspects that hold together the organs. And so by slightly expanding the hands, the feet, we're inviting space, then woody vines to stretch, to breathe, to give more space to the organs they're holding. Like in our QiGong, we hold open different aspects of the body and different flows of the spine. This is stretching the fascia. So keep breathing into that region of the body. Just another minute in this posture. Imagine standing rooted like a tree. Imagine cool soils beneath you, holding you firm in the ground. Imagine the wind gently blowing. You're standing centered. Imagine the crowns lifting slightly. And this part of the body, this association, the wood element is ambition or drive. If there's any areas of your life that you feel like more energy into, feel a drive and ambition, just holding in this posture, imagining that feeling, a building of that energy, motivation, through then spacious channels. So let's go on to our flows. So now that we've built some energy, we're going to go straight into our first one. So this was for the lungs, which was when we were standing in basic Wuji, which was Buddha holds up the earth now. So the hands come to face the chest, they turn around the shoulder and the chin level as we turn to face up. Not too dissimilar from spine cord breathing in some ways, but this time the hands come to face the lungs and then they settle to our Wuji posture at the lower abdomen. So breathing in. And breathing out to bring it back to the abdomen. Again, so the arms are slightly rounded. Shoulders still relaxed. And we're slightly looking up for this one when we reach the top. So with the breath, you can breathe in. Slight lift. Slight standing. As we breathe out, slight sinking in the tailbone, softening in the knees. Those that are seated, again, just focusing on the abdomen, the breath, lifting the arms. Buddha holds up the earth. Again. Final time. So now we'll move on to the fountain. So for this, we did our standing posture was this, the lower region of the back. So the fountain supports the kidneys, and so we're imagining that flow through the fountain. So hands come together and go out to the sides, like when we did our 3 treasures. And just like when we were doing the silk reeling, we used to do silk reeling like this, and go forward and back, and really accentuate the movement. And this time we're going to do it much more gently. So we're going to have the hands together and go out to the sides, and then the backs of the palms come together, slight wave up, and then like the elbows in our warm-up, the water just disperses with the elbows. Okay, to the side. So together, breathing in and out. Back to the palms together. Slight wave up the body and around. So we're staying nice and upright in the body. Backs of the hands come together and the elbows send them out. You can imagine water rippling up right the way from the soles of the feet, up the whole body, elbows soft. So as you can see, there's potentially a slight movement forward, but we're not overly extending. I'm just imagining those waters washing right the way up through the kidneys and out. This is following the kidney meridian, where the elbows then send it out. Flowing into our weekend. Imagining this nourishing the kidneys. Kidneys associated with fear in Chinese medicine, so any apprehensions or fears, and imagine this just washing, soothing them away. Supporting the kidneys and supporting flow in life in general. Soft and supple. And when you're ready, come back to Wuji for our final flow. Tree sways in the wind. So this one, we were standing like a tree like this. So our arms are still in that kind of position, starting in Wuji. And again, we're going to turn from this inner waist level. We're going to turn and we're going to bring the arms all the way up the side body to the top, down and round. So again, turning the inner waist from this point, and the arms trace up, the crown and down. I find this one extremely helpful for quietening the mind, for coming back to myself anytime I feel a little bit scattered. So turn, arms come up. You can breathe in to come up. Slight hold and exhale. Turn. Still nice and upright in the spine, still with awareness of that lift in the crown. One more time to each side. You can imagine a light of awareness anywhere your hands are traveling around the body, bringing clearing, focus. We say where the mind goes, energy flows. And now to finish, we're going to bring the arms round to our usual, drawing in the heavens. Purple light washing through the body. With your own breath. Final time. And now this time we're just going to imagine drawing in whatever quality of energy you need. Whether it's peace, playfulness, relaxation, energy, focus. And bring that to center in the lower abdomen. As we rock and sway like bamboo in the wind. Our final posture. Tucking in the chin, lifting in the crown. Really relishing these last moments, full body awareness. Noticing where the breath's landing in the body. Noticing how the body feels compared to when it started. Perhaps scanning the mind, the emotions. And then just breathing into any areas that are feeling tender, sensitive. Just giving a little bit of awareness and attention to the body. Giving thanks for all it does every day as you walk about daily life. So let's just circle up the right hand side, across and down the left. Circling that abdomen. Final deep breath in. And release with an audible sigh. Namaste. Thanks for joining, everyone. We'll see you same time, same place next week for another premiere where we're going to flow through these same postures and same flows again. So we build in familiarity and then we'll introduce all 5 in time. So let me know how that's gone. Feel free to like, subscribe and share. If it resonates with you or anyone you're connected with, just sharing the love. It's our gift for the community. And see you same time, same place next week. Thank you for any feedback. Lots of love. Take good care. Namaste.